Hi, this is Michelle, and this is the discussion for Lab 5, chemical reactions. In this lab, we've done 7 different activities, actually very interesting activities, just for different chemical reactions. We began with the synthesis reaction when we actually took some steel mesh and dipped it in vinegar to see the reaction where the actual steel wool did rust and the temperature actually increased, which and it actually caused heat to form. And that's a cause of a reaction that happened when the steel wool and the vinegar interacted with each other. A second activity that was done was with the just the activity 2 is just mixture of hydrogen peroxide and yeast, and just as they mixed up, you can also see the vapors form, gas form, bubbles, and you can just see the fizzing as they had mixed up in there, how it activated a glowing splint. In activity 3, what we had was just the magnesium strip that was on a stopper, and we had the hydrochloric acid we had in a test tube, end up having it just inverted into some water, and how actually the gas bubbles had released all of the water out of that tube, to where the tube itself was empty at the end, and also that it had a flaming stick that gave it a pop that indicated that there was hydrogen gas that was left inside of that tube. Also, for the 4th activity, the baking soda that was added to the vinegar caused an immediate reaction, which it started to bubble and fizz up. Even as it was sitting, you can see how the baking soda just laid at a sediment down there. There was no reaction at the bottom because of the carbon dioxide that had it created. In activity 5, it's just lighting a candle and actually watching it burn. Inside the actual test tube that had put above the candle, it did contain vapors, and sometimes, well, it did smoke eventually, but mainly just contained the vapor. And as we added more vinegar to the solution, even though it was at first it was no reaction, after it settled after a while, it created the reaction to act as if it was just mixed together again. The next activity we had activity 7 was with the steel wool and lighting that particular and lighting it. I found that it wouldn't completely like burn like as if setting on fire. It actually like would burn pieces, and actually pieces of it would the pieces that were on fire and kind of burn, it will left like little black pieces floating around. But it wouldn't like just burn like if you were burning paper, but it would burn pieces and leave little spots that was on the actual steel wool, just black. But it was very interesting experiments to do, and actually really neat. And I believe I skipped one, and it was actually when we used the lime, and when we had to take the larger test tube, and when it inverted in the tube, and the gas bubbles that went into the tube, it actually looked like the tube that had the lime in there, that it looked like it was a thick liquid, but as I kind of end up pouring it out, it was basically gas that was left in there. It was just a little bit of the liquid left on top of it. I thought it was just a thick liquid, but it actually was just gas left in there. But a very interesting, I think so far thus far, probably the best activity. So thanks a lot.